Using the detector, George found lots of metal things. But none of them was Yorbo.
Oh, the batteries are dead. I'll have to recharge them, but I'll bring this back tomorrow in case you're still looking. Bye now.
Thank you.
George couldn't wait for tomorrow. He had to find Yorbo before he rusted.
That's probably Professor Wiseman. Maybe she can think of something.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I heard there was a storm, so I thought I'd check in. Oh, what's wrong?
Well, George can't find his robot. It's buried in the sand.
Is it made of metal? You could try using a metal detector.
We borrowed one, but it ran out of batteries.
Well, metal detectors are easy to make. Sure. First, grab the portable radio from the shelf.
Okay. AM/FM radio, check.
Next, find the calculator, bottom drawer on the desk. Then get some tape, a top drawer on the desk. Now, take the radio and switch it to AM.
Okay.
Then turn the knob all the way to the highest radio station number, but make sure you get static and not an actual station. Turn up the volume, then turn on the calculator and tape it to the radio.
Fantastic.
You see, the radio and calculator act as a magnet. When it finds things that would stick to a magnet, the radio beeps.
That's amazing. I can't believe you knew that.
Well, how do you think I won first place in my second grade science fair?
George was confused. He had already searched half the beach. But which half? If only the beach were smaller. Then George remembered tic-tac-toe. He could break up the beach into smaller sections, like a tic-tac-toe board. If George could mark off the squares he searched, then he'd know where he'd looked and where he needed to look.
Hi, George. You want to make a grid to help you keep track of your search? Oh, great idea, George. All set. Let me know if you need anything.
If George searched every square, then he'd be sure to find Yorbo. In square number 4, George found a trumpet. In square 6, George found a front grille to a 57 Cadillac. But by square number 8, there was still no sign of Yorbo.
No luck, huh?
Yorbo had to be in this last square. He had to.
Way to go, George! You found him!
Yorbo is great, yes?
Have fun! Well, I guess this means I can get back to the thrilling conclusion of my book. Oh well. Wait for me!
Now for the test. It worked. And George figured if it worked for blueberries, it should also work for coconut. George's creation worked like a vending machine, but it didn't look like one. Not yet. As the saying goes, one person's refrigerator box is another monkey's vending machine. George finished his machine by making a serving slot for the bowls. Everything looked great. But who would turn the wheels? Even after a great pescetti meal, the two groups were still poles apart.
We've got to get both groups to relax and mingle. Maybe the after-dinner entertainment will help?
Oops. I forgot all about that. Sorry. Right. Dessert. Yes, George, we're ready.
May I have everyone's attention, please? I want to thank Professor Chilla de Winter and Professor Dewey Friesem.
I represent the North Pole, of course. The one on top of the world.
It all depends on how you hold the map.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us tonight. And may I just say, what is that?
Is that a vending machine?
Wow!
George's special dessert started with a special coin. Gnocchi's love of toys was exactly what the George-O-Matic needed.
Look at that.
It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Oh, why, this is snow on a mountain.
My mommy used to make that.
Mine too.
Oh, what do you mean you forgot the entertainment? This is perfect.
Look at you!
Look at you.
It's like the Arctic in here.
I'd say more like the Antarctic. Oh, frostbite and icicles. Snow is snow, right?
Right.
Put her there.
Happy to.
Well, George, thanks to you, Operation Snow Go is going. George?
As for George, he was busy perfecting his plans for the next George-O-Matic.
I'm afraid you'll have to wait till next year. I got 'em all shorn at the fair.
maybe some other animal grew hair that George could turn into yarn. But Leslie's hair was much too short. The pigs had hardly any hair. And chickens have feathers instead of hair.
Oh, don't worry, George. Hey, maybe there's a pilot with a plane who can fly us over the whole country so we can look around for a sheep with hair.
Allie, Mr. Rankins, come to the house. Cousin Ida's on the phone.
I'll be right back, George. And I'll bring my bike so we can start looking for pilots.
George figured he'd pass the time watching the sheep eat grass. A lot of grass. Oh no, a sheep was escaping. Bo didn't seem to understand monkey. But he did understand this. Now, what was the whistle for help, runaway sheep? George didn't know, so he guessed. Wrong guess. Now George wondered how to whistle, come back. Another wrong guess. George was suddenly wishing he'd paid more attention at the sheepdog competition. He tried every whistle he could think of to get Bo to turn the sheep around. None of them was right.
Been a slow day today.
You were saying?
Never mind.
The sheep ended up at George's house.
Hi, George. Anything interesting happen while I was gone? Oh, no. George? Don't worry, Mr. Rankins. Yes, we have your sheep, and they're all safe. George, could you get those sheep away from the tuba?
Go on, go on. Boy, am I grateful. That storm blew a bunch of trees down in the pasture. If George hadn't found shelter for the sheep, they might have gotten hurt.
Huh? You hear that, George? You're a hero, monkey.
We went to a friend's to get a thank you gift. Allie knew just what you wanted.
Wool! And lots of it. We can dye it any color you want.
I'll teach you how to knit. You'll have a new scarf in no time.
And that was how George not only made a new scarf for himself, but also one for the man with the yellow hat. A long scarf.
And I think you picked the right color.
Safe at home.
Now that George was a numbers pro, he was having a great time, keeping score, watching the game, and rooting for Marco to hit a home run.
Here's the pitch. Looks like it could get out of here. It's going. A fantastic grab by the outfielder. That was the third out. Now the Tiger babies are up.
Sorry, hungry people. My mom's on the phone and I have to talk to her. I wish there was someone who could help you, but there isn't. Really? You can help? Awesome! But first I have to see if you're qualified. It fits! You got the job. Good news, people! This very nice monkey is taking my place. I just served customer number 7, so 8 is next. Hey, Mom, what's up?
After 7 comes 8, then 9, then 10. This was going to be easy. George had no idea what number came after that.
Excuse me, I'm number 16. I should get my drink before 17 gets his pretzel.
Hold on! You can't serve 16 before you serve 14.
What about 13, monkey?
12 comes before 13.
11 is next.
Calm down, people. What's the problem?
He's serving us out of order.
Seriously? Do you know your numbers? Cool. So what comes after 10? Well, I'll show you. It's easy. Just cover the first part of the number with your hand and look at the second part. See? 1, 2. So 11, then 12. Awesome. Do you want me to take over?
As fun as it was to hand out popcorn, George was eager to get back to the game.
Hey, kid, where you been? Oh, never mind that. It's clutch time. It's the last inning, bottom of the 9th. The score is tied 4-4. There are 2 outs, and Marco's up to bat. But he hurt his foot playing shortstop, and now he can't run. Can you run the bases for him?
So if I hit the ball, will you run for me?
Thanks, kid. Let's go!
This is it, folks. After 2 scoreless innings, it's the Cubby Bears' last chance to break the tie.
Wish me luck, George.
Strike 1. Strike 2. Just a reminder, folks. 3 strikes and you're out.
Keep going! Keep... Home run! Marco, home run!
I did it! I hit a home run!
Oops! Run, George, run!
If bases were like everything else, then George should run them in order. First base first, second base second, and third base third.
Bring it home, kid! Bring it home!
Slide, George! Slide!
Save!
What a hit! What a slide! The Bears have won the game!
I did it! I hit a home run! And I couldn't have done it without you, George!
We're so proud.
That was a fine hit, Marco, and a fine run, kid. Kid?
There he is!
Citizens of Prairieville, welcome to the ceremony for the joining of the rails. And to drive in the last pin, Sheriff Doorman.
What?
Oh dear, I've lost the pin.
Here he is! Sorry, excuse me.
Oh no!
This was awful. Hundley had to find that pin.
about losing the pin.
Prairieville, Prairieville, we won't be going nowhere until we find the pin that flew away and ruin the ceremony.
And ruin the ceremony. This is hopeless.
The deputy thought she might be right. There was too much sand. Then the stranger realized all they needed was a sifter. Something with holes that would let the dirt out but keep the pin in.
Oh!
Who's hungry? After all, what's a Western without the the spaghetti?
Perfect. A really big sifter. The deputy hoped the holy bowl would save the day. Only it didn't. The holes were too big to keep the small pin inside.
Any luck finding the pin?
Last piece of pie. Sure you don't want some?
Suddenly, the stranger knew what to do. If he wanted a sifter with holes the right size, he'd have to make it himself. Luckily, he knew how big the holes needed to be. This was bigger than the pin from the box. If the stranger used it to make holes, the pin would fall through them. But this was a perfect size nail. It would make a hole that would let the dirt out, but keep the pin in.
Well, I'll be.
There it is!
Great job, deputy.
Hey, there it is!
Way to go, Huntley.
You've got the best sifter of all.
Yeah, your nose. Now, who should put in the pin? We don't want to lose it again.
Hey, my town! It's all set up. Aw, and you saved the last pin for me.
Huntley was happy the train was back on track.
This is great! And I've got the perfect name for it. Huntleyville. What do you think of that, Huntley? Huntley?
Prairieville was neat and clean, had the best sheriff you've ever seen. His deputy was on the ball.
George explained that he was the owner of this body, and Toots and the Germettes would have to go.
Go? Why should we go? We like it here. I'm making you feel sick? Oh, well, in that case, I'll be on my way. I'll just get myself. Fooled you! I'm never leaving. But you are. Got it right.
George knew he wouldn't feel better until he got rid of Toots. But where did he go? The lungs? George and Yoki agreed to try his lungs first. It looked kind of wet. Was this the lungs? Or was it the stomach? Maybe they made a wrong turn somewhere.
Mosey on down to your belly. So don't eat a thing, that's my suggestion. Cause I'll be giving. Gotta run.
Now this looked more like a lung. When the walls moved out, air came in. When the walls moved in, air rushed out. George was watching himself breathe.
Well, baby, I'm in your love. Ooh, yeah, it's in your love. Ooh, yeah, in your love. That toots.
This was George's chance.
So where should we go next? The throat? Hey, maybe the ears. Hey, what are you doing? No, I don't want to go.
George couldn't believe how hard it was to get rid of one measly germ.
Hey, what are you doing? Let me go!
George didn't have a feather, but he did have 20 fingers.
No! Hey, cut it out! This whole place could blow!
George and Yoki had done it. Toots was gone.
You're awake. How do you feel?
George felt great. He could even smell again. For an important call.
Calling George. I have the most amazing, exciting thing to tell you. Can you come over? Oh, right, we're in bed. Okay then, meet me at the clubhouse tomorrow, right away, and don't forget. Bye!
The next morning, George raced to the clubhouse.
Hey! Hiya, George. Are you ready to hear this? Are you ready? It's kind of unbelievable, and I don't think you'll even believe it. So are you ready? Okay. I am going to kindergarten! Huh? Kindergarten is where you go when you're big, and you need to learn stuff like how to write your name and 8 plus 2. Ah! And I want you to come with me to get all of my school tools. So can you come? Can you come?
It was a good thing George went shopping with Allie because she needed a monkey's eye.
Okay, which backpack? The lion, the witch, or the warthog? Yeah, that's the one I wanted too, because it holds the most stuff. See, in kindergarten, you need exactly 3 rulers and a cowboy belt, and binoculars, and pipe cleaners.
Wow, kindergarten sure sounded like fun. Where else would you need 3 rulers and a cowboy belt?
Guess what? These are 2 for 1. Ooh. Would you like a backpack, George?
The next day, George wondered how Allie was doing in kindergarten.
George! Kindergarten was great. And guess what? I told my teacher I was best friends with a monkey, and she said you could come to school with me tomorrow. Yeah, you'll be our official guest monkey.
Here's your lunch, your snack, and just for luck, a brand new yellow pencil.
Wow, a school tool.
Have fun. Be a good little guest monkey.
George discovered that just going to school was exciting. First, there was waiting for the bus. Then there was being on the bus. And then there was getting off the bus.
This is it, George. Kindergarten. Ooh,
Hi, Allie. And you must be George. All right, class. Time to take your seats.
Now, we're not going to create any more work for Professor Wiseman, right? Okay, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Feed the ducks. You too. Fun, relaxation, ducks.
Okay, here I go.
George, careful. No problem, we're still feeding them, right? It's fun, huh? Right? Ducks!
But your hat is waddling away.
Oh, my hat.
We can solve this problem.
You shouldn't. I should. Okay, how?
Aha! We can use the kite string to fish the hat out of the water. I just need a hook. Perfect choice. Okay, want to toss it, George? We need more weight. Okay, try again. Aha! See that branch? We can use it to lift the hat.
We can? Fantastic. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This wasn't what I planned. All you did was solve problems for us. Please accept my apology.
Apology for what? I had a very relaxing day.
Relaxing?
Exactly. Hands-on problem solving. Not like work where I just answer questions and shuffle paper.
Well, then, you're welcome.
Well, see ya.
Oh, okay. Wow. Who knew relaxing could be so exhausting? Come on, George. I think it's time for a nap.
George knew he had to keep Gnocchi away from that spaghetti strand. He had an idea how to do it. Now George had an accurate way to measure the building. This tape measure could measure anything. This was going great. 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. Uh-oh. The tape measure was only 20 feet long, but the building was more than 20 feet tall. But how much more? Now how was George going to measure the building? If only he had something longer than that tape. Of course, George had a spaghetti strand 30 feet long.
Say, aren't you Ginny, the world record book lady?
You are correct.
Oh, I've been a fan of yours for years.
Well, thank you. I'm here looking for...
I know what you're looking for. Chef Biscotti's is this way. There's Biscotti's restaurant.
And here's Chef Biscotti's strand of spaghetti. I have got to get a picture of this.
George could see that the spaghetti wasn't touching the ground, which meant it was a little bit shorter than the building. How could he measure the difference? When George held the strand at the top of his head, it reached the ground. That meant the building was exactly one spaghetti strand and one George tall.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is going to be spectacular. Love this.
Stevie, why you don't come back in a minute? You're Ginny, the world record book lady.
And you must be Chef Biscotti.
Yes, yes.
And up there on the roof, is that your monkey friend?
Yes, monkey. Giorgio?
Displaying your super long spaghetti strand. Here's the photograph I just took of it.
Wow. Does that set a world record, Jenny?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Here's the picture I took of Alfonso Dimitri displaying his strand of cooked spaghetti from the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
No. Now I'm never gonna get in the world record book.
You most certainly will. You have the second longest strand of cooked spaghetti. 3 stories tall.
Son of the gun!
Chef Biscotti.
3 stories
Oh,
tall!
way to go!
Oh, 3 stories! I gotta call Nettie and tell her the building next door is 3 stories tall.
So Gnocchi finally got to play with the spaghetti. And Chef Biscotti broke a second record. World's longest cat toy. George always liked to visit the Man with the Yellow Hat's old neighborhood.
And that used to be the bookstore. And look, that's where I saw my very first movie. Oh, this used to be a great old theater. Maybe someday someone will fix it up. What's going on?
Progress, that's what. Wait till you see the unique self-cleaning parking structure I've planned for this site.
But this old theater is full of memories. You can't tear it down.
Tear down this theater? You're not serious. Look at the beautiful lobby. This bijou's what inspired me to become a doorman in the first place.
But it's tired and run down. It's a hopeless, broken old theater.
George didn't think it looked hopeless. He'd seen the man with the yellow hat fix things up before. Why couldn't he fix up an old movie theater too?
Repair the theater? Us? You're right, George. If we don't do it, who will? How about it, Mr. Glass? Let us put on a special screening. We'll show you that this theater is worth preserving.
I don't want to go out to a movie. With one of these, why bother?
But a movie is always more fun on the big screen.
It can be a truly unique event.
Unique? Hi, you're a monkey, aren't you? Okay, it's a deal.
Great.
If you clean up this place and put on a unique, one-of-a-kind show, I'll save the theater.
Mr. Glass, I promise we'll knock your socks off. Maybe this is hopeless.
Well, let's see it with the lights on. See? It just needs a little TLC. Tender lobby care.
You know, it'll take some work, but I bet we can put on a good show.
Cleaning up a movie theater was a major production.
Thanks.
We've never played for a movie before.
Here it is, Isle of Dinosaurs, one of Mr. Glass's favorite movies. Hey, great work, you two. I can't believe this is the same theater. Wow.
Lots of puddles, a rubber ball, and one happy monkey. The perfect recipe for fun on a rainy day in the country. George had lost his ball, but he had found something he'd never noticed before. A cave. George didn't know much about caves, but he knew one thing about being in the dark. You can't really see anything. How would he find the ball now?
I've got that. Oh, hey, George. You want to help me bake my famous banana walnut cake?
Oh.
George invited Jumpy Squirrel to help him find the ball in the cave. That squirrel didn't know what he was missing by being so jumpy. The cave was like a new playground for George. With just a flashlight, he could bring shadows to life. And turn himself into a fearless giant. Suddenly, the cave seemed very different. For the very first time, George was truly afraid of the dark. In the safety of his room, George was happy. He knew he never had to go back to that spooky cave again.
Good night, George. George, is that you? Huh. I guess I forgot to turn off the lights. Did I forget to turn off all of these lights too? Huh.
When Mrs. Quint asked for help setting up a surprise party for Mr. Quint's birthday, George was almost ready. He practiced yelling, "Surprise!" until he was really good at it. But he wanted to be the best, so he kept practicing.
You ever thrown a surprise party for Mr. Quint before?
Well, it's the only way to give him a party.
Because you're such a big family?
Exactly.
I'm watching for Mr. Quint's boat. No sign of him.
Oh, you don't have to watch yet, Bill. He won't be back for at least 2 hours.
Whoa! It's not my birthday, George. I'm not supposed to get surprised.
He's home early.
No! What do we do?
Oh, take him to your house and keep him there till party time.
Not yet, George.
Well, hey there, young fellas.
Ooh, looks like you sprung a leak. Bad luck today, huh?
Well, not all bad. Got to see part of the river I never saw before. The bottom. Well, I gotta change my soggy socks.
Don't! I mean, come to our house. We want to build a fish pond and need expert advice about fish.
Well, sure. Well, let me just get some dry clothes.
Here, dry clothes. Go help him.
All right, Mother, if you say so.
Huh? No Quint can resist fish crackers. They may come in handy. Okay, goodbye. Have fun.
So George and the man with the yellow hat kept Mr. Quint busy with lots of questions.
What do you think?
Well, if you make a pond that big, you can have almost any size fish.
As George was about to ask exactly how many whales he could have, Mr. Quint's brother, Flint Quint, showed up.
Hi. George, it's Mr. Quint's brother, the train station master.
Hey, Clint, happy birthday. Hey, Flint, happy birthday.
Oh, didn't you know the Quints were born together? So Flint can't know about the party either, okay?
The Quints were twins. Now George had 2 people to yell surprise at. It couldn't get any better.
Your wife said you needed help, so I came right over.
Well, this here's fish business, not trains, so you can weigh anchor. I'll meet you back at my house.
Don't go. We want to know about running a train around the pond we're planning. I'll be right back. Hello?
Oh, it's Mrs. Quint. Disaster. The bakery truck broke down, so they can't deliver the birthday cake.
Don't worry, I can go pick it up.
Oh, thank you. It's at Mr. Pescado's bakery over in Franklin Square.
You can't run tracks across the pond. It'll scare the fish.
Well, then we'll just have to tunnel.
Guys, could you monkey sit for me while I run an errand?
Sure. We'll just figure out the pond while you're gone.
George, it's your job to keep the Quints here so the surprise isn't wrecked, okay?
George knew this would be easy, because the Quint brothers would probably argue about the pond for hours.
Well, we've got it all worked out. The perfect pond and train.
So we'll monkey sit you at my house where we could draw up plans.
George had to keep the Quints here. It was important. The surprise.
Fish crackers. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
It was a nice summer morning, so George was walking the man with the yellow hat to the subway.
Sorry I'm walking so fast, George, but I can't be late. George?
Well, he was when they started. But George had seen something so amazing, he had to stop.
Oh, there you are. Did you see a toy you want? You already have a dinosaur just like that. You want an oven?
George never had a toy that could make cake. Sweet, delicious cake.
I'm sorry, George. That's expensive, and I just bought you an expensive toy last week. George, can we please talk about this later? I'm late for work. Sorry, George, but I can't buy every toy you see. Be a good little monkey.
If the man with the yellow hat couldn't buy it, George would have to buy it himself. All he needed was to get a job and start earning money. But Mr. Glass didn't need a window washer today. Chef Biscotti didn't need a dish dryer. It was one of those days when nobody needed a monkey's help.
The new summer display is really gonna attract customers, Dad. The palm tree goes there,
beach balls on the wall, and Hawaiian lays everywhere.
I like it. Good work, son.
It'll take me a few hours to pick up everything. We'll set it up when I get back.
I could use 2 more hands while you're gone.
If you had 2 more hands, you'd be like George.
I only wish I could get an employee with 4 hands.
An employee with 4 hands? Here was someone who really needed a monkey. The grocer would be so happy with monkey help. George would probably earn that whole oven in 1 day.
Hey, do you work here? Perfect. I need to choose bananas. Could you help me? They need to be super sweet. I'm baking a banana cream pie for my mom.
George knew one sure way to find the sweetest tasting bananas. These bananas belonged under the counter, not on top.
How about the bunch behind you? Not the bananas in front of you, the ones behind. Try the bananas behind them. Thanks. This is the best service I've ever had in any store.
Go! Go! Good morning, George.
I'm gonna sleep 5 more minutes, okay?
No!
Yes, hurry! This here roller coaster whips and snaps you around hairpin turns at 70 miles per hour. So come on down to Zany Island and ride the Turbo Python 3000. That's Captain's orders.
Oh, well, that looks very exciting, George. Anyway, we have a lot of errands to run today. I gotta... Like I was saying, I'll get dressed so we can spend a fun day at Zany Island riding the Turbo Python 3000. Now, don't eat all that licorice at once, okay, George? Hi, Steve. Betsy?
Hi, George. Hey, have you guys been on the Turbo Python 3000? We've been on 9 times already. That's the record.
Is it, fun?
He screamed his head off 9 times. We're gonna ride it all day. Wanna come?
Everyone was excited about riding the Turbo Python 3000. Except the man with the yellow hat. He was afraid of roller coasters and remembered the first and last time he rode a roller coaster. It was so long ago, he was just the boy with the yellow hat. And since that day, roller coasters upset him.
Okay, I'm a grown man. I have no reason to fear a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride, George. Whew. I am thirsty.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, but you can't ride the Turbo Python 3000. You have to be as tall as this sign to ride. And, you're not.
Sorry, pal.
That goes for you too, son.
Huh? Do you mind if we ride without you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I measure to the top of a head, not the top of a hat. You're gonna have to really grow before you can ride there, little fella.
George wondered exactly how much he had to grow. But when he measured with his hand, he was the same height as the sign. He must have grown already.
You're not measuring right. I wish I had a ruler or something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the sign is 5 licorice whips tall, and you are 1, 2, 3, 4 licorice whips tall. You can come back when you're grown one more licorice whip tall. And until then, enjoy the rest of the park.
George was conducting an important experiment, testing the bounce factor of the living room furniture. This part of the couch made a different sound. That wasn't the couch. It sounded big. It sounded heavy. And it came from up there.
You must have heard our new neighbor walking around. He moved in last week.
What George had heard seemed heavier than footsteps.
What are you doing? George, you must have heard our neighbor walking. That's all it could be. It's not like he's got some wild animal up there.
The man with the yellow hat lived with George, so why couldn't the new neighbor live with an animal? But what kind? Of course, the new neighbor had brought home an elephant. The man with the yellow hat had to hear this.
George? You dreamt about an elephant?
Shh.
Oh, no more nature books before you go to sleep, George. They're obviously giving you strange dreams. This is better bedtime reading. The Happy Sleepy Monkey.
Good night.
This new sound certainly wasn't an elephant walking around. It was an elephant that was doing what?
Oh, boy, I didn't sleep at all last night.
George never realized there were so many sounds in the world. He'd never listened hard enough. That was the balcony to the apartment upstairs, where the new neighbor lived, with his elephant.